Hello, and welcome back to Coin Lady channel. In this video, I'll explain the factors that will increase the value of XRP. To explain why ODL will have such a profound impact on XRP's long-term price, I'd want to discuss the liquidity flywheel. There is widespread belief that ODL has little effect on XRP's price. Given that you must dispose of a same number of XRP as you acquire. I'll explain why I disagree and why I think OBL will significantly impact the market value of XRP. Let me therefore introduce this video with a cheery tune. This is why the library intends to appeal the SEC's ruling against them. The SEC, as you may recall, was responsible for the library suffering enormous financial loss. Everything they did was interpreted as a possible securities deal. Most people didn't consider the library token to be secure. The only thing they were successful in doing was making the choice to shut down permanently. The library announced earlier today through Twitter that it wants to resist the SEC, despite common perception that it has the financial wherewithal to do so. This seems good from where I'm sitting right now. In my opinion, this will have zero influence on any upcoming legal proceedings. The sheer vastness of the collection makes the argument pointless. The whole shebang. We will give greater weight to decisions made on Ripple, Grayscale, and Coinbase than we would in a library. The survival of the library, though, is encouraging. It's great that they're aiming for the SEC. The SEC has been on a publicity tour since the library case, claiming that any business dealing in bitcoins is actually conducting a securities transaction. Therefore, it is highly hopeful that the SEC may lose its most important case on appeal. I have no idea how well received the library will be at this point in time. The war's return to the SEC has satisfied me for the time being. The SEC has really only just had this victory over library to cite to as evidence of its progress in the Bitcoin business. Because the SEC has a bias against Bitcoin trading platforms in general. I hope that they shut down the agency for several years because of this. The library might even survive and remain open if we're lucky. The library could potentially win a legal argument if it challenges the security classification of the token it issues. If they were to succeed, it would be a major victory. I am completely in the dark about the outcome of their appeal. Anyway, I found it to be quite intriguing. Let's talk about money right now. Flywheel ODL20, and I'll break you how I anticipate ODL to significantly impact XRP's value. And with that, the algorithmic market maker's latest update has begun. In OTL20, I anticipate a big role for the XRP ledger, the automated market maker. To send XRP internationally and complete an ODL transaction, a user must first visit a centralized exchange, convert their fiat currency to XRP, send the XRP internationally, and then convert the XRP back to fiat. This is one of the major problems with OTL. To make the deal work, though, you had to rely on middlemen. The problem is that transaction fees will very certainly be levied by the central authorities. So, it turns out that the frictionless experience isn't quite as silky as it sounds. The good news is that decentralized exchanges are readily available. The employment of electronic market makers or distributed order books is one approach to improving the trading process. In order for this to take place, top-tier institutions, such as banks and governments, will need to introduce tokenized currencies on blockchains. These establishments can utilize a DEX to convert their native digital currency representation into XRP and back again, saving them the need of traveling to a centralized exchange. Fiat currency is making a comeback. The fees associated with this strategy are minimal at best when contrasted to the fees charged by centralized exchanges, which can range from $10 to $15 per trade. Being able to eliminate these centralized players is crucial for more efficiently expanding ODL offerings. I believe the AM will play a significant part in facilitating these trades. I'd like to provide a film from one of the foremost authorities on the topic, Mickey B. Fresh, who explains in great depth how the act of locking up this XRP will result in a virtuous cycle of liquidity. This part also delves into some speculative territory. Let me just play the video for you so you can get a feel for what he's talking about, and then I'll fill in the details. But I believe it would greatly aid your understanding of how this automated market structure will lock up a lot of XRP, hence driving the price upward. Nonetheless, it is this augmented demand that ultimately leads to cost hikes. The asset has a sizable buyer base. Prices will rise as more buyers enter the market with hard currency. And now we'll take a closer look at it. This video will serve as an introduction to the topics I will be discussing in greater detail over the next several days or weeks. The liquidity flywheel, which represents, in my opinion, the best case of this in action, will also be covered. Many of you will understand this. Some of you probably won't get it. I'm sorry this has come up. Liquidity providers should anticipate increased returns from fees as pool utilization increases. An ongoing auction system has been implemented as a countermeasure. Since the XRP ledger includes a network layer, errors in arbitrage pricing will also be subject to fees. If more money is invested, then the returns should increase, right? Since more people are dipping their toes in, the liquidity has increased. The end effect is less sliding and more volume. Fees are proportional to volume. Consequently, the economic beneficiaries are the liquidity providers. Due to the liquidity flywheel, the price of XRP will increase. So, it's fantastic that you understood. However, I've realized that it may be too unclear for some, so allow me to elaborate a little. Holding XRP in pools allows for easier transactions and international money transfers. Having no XRP at all during a transaction involving the US dollar and the euro is a bad idea. The last thing you'd want is to have to add funds to the trading pot. The best course of action is to always have some XRP on hand, if not a large quantity, so that any pending transactions can be settled in XRP. As the need for facilitating trades grows, more XRP will be needed in these pools to ensure there is always adequate liquidity to complete a transaction. In addition, decentralized exchanges will play an increasingly important role in facilitating these transactions as the need for such liquidity pools increases. Because it facilitates their work and saves them time. Now, Ripple makes use of these liquidity pools to make these kinds of cross-border payments possible. XRP will be in high demand to replenish these cash reserves. The technical merit of this viewpoint is open to question. This is, however, the simplest explanation for the expected increase in demand for ODL20. Scenario: the group should establish a common bank account from which members can withdraw funds as needed. XRP should be readily available to you at all times. If you work for a company that frequently facilitates transactions but doesn't keep XRP on hand, you don't want to be in a position where you have to go out and acquire XRP just to complete a transaction. Distributed XRP pools, where participants can join and depart as needed to complete a transaction, make more sense. Liquidity is currently concentrated on ODA 1.0 centralized exchanges, therefore this isn't happening. The influence on XRP's value and demand, however, would be far greater if that liquidity were integrated into the blockchain and the currency itself. The use of automated market makers and Ripple's work with ODL20 are two topics that have recently attracted my curiosity. At the Apex Dev Conference, we saw Ripple make an earnest attempt to highlight these automated market makers. As a last point, I hope to demonstrate the significance of this concept. Today I learned about Morgan's efforts to expedite currency transfers around the world. Morgan is working on a blockchain-based digital deposit token. What should I do if I'm worried that Morgan will corner the Ripple market? Is it possible that JP Morgan may out-innovate Ripple? Not at all. No. Throughout the years that Tesla began producing its electric vehicles, several people made claims that were similar to these. 2 Fords are on the hunt for him. The other automaker may eventually find out about them. Ultimately, not a single one of them was fruitful. They didn't make the change because they lacked the underlying technological expertise required for it. It's all over today. Please like and subscribe my channel. See you later, bye.